Hey guys, it's Odaiba here. So no stream today because I've been busy with a bunch of work stuff these couple of days. So I'm gonna do the next best thing for you guys, which is this Kefka poll and early review video. And before we actually begin to start polling for Kefka, I'm gonna talk to you guys about why I decided to go for Kefka, even though I don't actually have that much visual left. So you can see here 50 something thousand visual. Actually, that is meant to be my savings for when Rafu comes out, and there's a good chance she's actually coming out next week. So I'll be pretty screwed here if I end up spending too much visual polling for Kefka. Now, so why do I go for him then if I don't have that much visual? Is because after looking through his kit, I've decided that I really need Kefka on my side of the ring. And so we're gonna talk about why that is right now. So first things first, we're gonna take a quick look at the TMR. It is not the reason why I'm pulling Kefka for, because this TMR is not that fantastic. It's decent, but not something that you absolutely must have. It does give you 4 agility up, which is something that you definitely do want out of out of your TMR for most units. On top of the 4 agility, you get a bunch of other extra stats as well, and then the TR skill is not bad as well. It's a 2-cast skill that gives everyone in this AoE range some increased agility as well as magic increase. So the way I see it, this is kind of similar to Leela the Bowl's TMR, except it's trading away the extra range here for the magic increase on your allies. Overall, not too bad. I may use it from time to time, but the main reason why I'm pulling Kefka is really for this skill right here, Show Me Your Strength. This is an AoE buff that will give everyone in the range here, except for Kefka, 5 hate up. And then on top of that, everybody in the range, including Kefka, will also get 20 spirit as well as 20 AoE resistance. So this move here obviously is quite similar to Sadali's Immortal Dogma, which is this move that gives an ally 4 hate up and auto revive. So obviously Kefka's version doesn't give you auto revive or re-raise as we call it inside the game. But this move here, Immortal Dogma, is good enough to enable strategies like the Pizarro +2 win unit kind of team. And even though this move here, Immortal Dogma, only has a single cast, it's good enough for those kind of things. So you can imagine what an ability like Kefka's Show Me Your Strength can do. It has 3 casts. So even though it doesn't give you auto revive, it gives you, or rather is good enough for you to use this strategy for your guild battle first fight and second fight. And I feel that just because of that, this move will potentially have a bunch of implications in the future when you want to set up certain strategies involving Kefka's hate up ability and a bunch of either evade units or really tanky units. So yeah, that's the main reason why I feel like I need to have Kefka. But even if you disregard this one main reason I'm pulling Kefka, he does still have a lot of things going for him. Like, just take a look at his main job passive here. It has so many things in a single passive. Spirit penetration 40, attack activation time reduction, and magic up. And on top of that, for his second passive, you can either pick move +1, jump +1, which makes him the second unit in the game, the second mage unit in the game that has access to move 4 and jump 2. With the other unit being, I believe, Halloween Leela. I may have missed out on some other mage units that have this thing, but I believe Halloween Leela and Kefka are the only 2 mage units that have access to this. And then even if you don't want to use that, even if you're playing on a map that doesn't require the extra mobility, you can always equip this Energist passive here, which gives you a bunch of increased stats for the first 5 turns of the fight, which is incredible for small maps. This is basically the same thing that Garvel has, by the way. And once again, this ability, this passive here, is only accessible by Garvel and Kefka. And then if we look at the counter ability, of course, on top of having so many great things, he also has physical reflex. And even if you don't want to go with physical reflex, you can go with damage distribution. For small maps, it can be potentially helpful to drain some HP with this counter attack, and it's going to help Kefka with his survivability for sure. Now moving on, if we look at his main job, he has, I'm not going to go through everything, but he has a bunch of really great AoE skills. He has access to an incredible re-raise removal. It's a re-raise removal attack that is range 4, range height 2, and is elementless. So this means that he's going to use this on a lot of re-raise targets. He also has a bunch of status ailments with his limit burst, confusion, 67% chance. If you want to equip his default subjob, he also has blind and silence on this AoE attack here. But most of the time I think we're going to put him on arithmetic, which gives him access to some extra attacks that have an extra range, range 6 instead of range 5 on the attacks from his main job. And then of course with arithmetician he also gets access to a bunch of healing skills that he will use when he's too far away from the front line or at the start of the second fight in guild battle. So overall, just an incredible unit all around. And did I mention he has re-raise as well? And his re-raise is the type similar to Queen Mastery, where he actually gets a bunch of CT up when he gets knocked down and KO'd. So yeah, he's incredible. Definitely don't want to pass up on him if you have the visual to spend. So after speaking so long about him, I feel like I've given you guys all the reasons why you should start saving for Kefka in the future. But with that said, I don't actually know if he is considered a must pull unit. For that, I think you should check back with me in a couple of weeks' time after I've had some time to play with him. I think I'll have a better idea to advise you guys on whether or not Kefka is a unit that you definitely must have in your collection. So with all that said, I'm gonna finally start pulling for him. Almost 7 minutes into the video. So we're gonna start by doing the 10 pull ticket thing. As per usual, I've bought the ticket already. And it's right over here, I believe. If we get lucky here, then, maybe you can just stop pulling altogether. And of course, the first 10 pull is never going to be the one to end the summons with, even though in the past I have actually had incredible luck with the initial 10 pull. By the way, from this video onwards, you're going to notice that I no longer suffer from the flickering issue when pulling on banners in War of the Visions, and that's because I finally decided to upgrade my version of BlueStacks. I've been quite paranoid about upgrading because I feel that sometimes they remove features without alerting you in advance, but from my guildmate, or rather my guild leader in Visipur, he let me know that actually the version that I'm on right now, 5.9 point something, is actually the most stable version without having features removed. So I decided to finally upgrade to this version of BlueStacks. And it's definitely a version that I haven't had too much time with it. So I can't actually tell you guys if it's actually an improvement or not, but I guess we will find out as the days and weeks go by. Now next up, after the temple, I believe the next banner I'm supposed to pull on is, let me bring up my list, it's the 80 mindsphere banner. So this, I believe, is an exclusive banner in JP. We haven't seen this in global before, but basically it will give you in one slot 80 mindspheres for FF6 rerun, which is the same mindspheres as the previous one. It's not a new mindsphere. And on top of that, I do have a chance to get any of these units. So yeah, I definitely need a bunch of mindspheres, so let's get pulling. It's great value. The one thing that, or rather the two things that this banner won't have included are the vision cards from FF6. Not the old ones and definitely not the new one. Because all of the UR things that you get from this banner are guaranteed to be units instead of vision cards. So the one thing I do hate about this banner is that because you're guaranteed to get 80 mindspheres, this means that if you see a gold book, it's not actually accurate, because most of the time the gold shard in the 10 pull is going to be the 80 mindsphere shard, so they kind of trick you that way. So I feel like we're going to have some really boring 10 pulls right here with this banner here. Oh, looks like I spoke too soon. I just noticed some flickering problem in BlueStacks. It seems like even in the version I'm on right now, it still has some of it. So I hope you guys will bear with me here. Just a bit of flickering. Oh! What is this? If we are getting our mindsphere shard as the first pull in the banner, that means that the final shard over here is going to be a UR for sure. So we finally, with our third pull or fourth pull of the day, we finally have our first chance to get Kefka. So let's go ahead and see if it is indeed him. Oh boy. Close enough. Like, if you think about it, the chances of getting one of the FF6 units alone is actually pretty low already. So definitely it's not bad luck to be getting one of the old FF6 units instead. Although obviously I wish it would have been Kefka. I can still use the 40 extra mindspheres from the duplicate pull anyway, so it's not a bad deal for sure. Let's see if we get lucky again. And unfortunately, with this mindsphere shard being in this position, it means that we didn't get a single UR in this pull. But we do walk away with 320 plus 40, so a total of 360 FF6 mindspheres, so it's not too shabby for 8,000 visual down. So next time we're gonna do the paid viz polls. So in GP, what happens with every collab and every collab rerun is that they give us these 5 UR banners that include everything in the collab. Meaning you have a chance to get not just the collab units, but as well as the vision cards. And every single time is this banner here with 2000 paid viz, and you get 5 UR. It can be vision card, it can be unit, and unfortunately this time we can only do it twice, so we're gonna try our luck here real quick. I believe back during the 2.5 anniversary, during the FF13 collab and the FF Tactics rerun, they actually let us pull on this banner up to 3 times each. So I really enjoyed that one here. Oh, what's this? Oh, the mindsphere. Okay, so on top of the 80 mindspheres, we have 5 URs in the banner. So let's hope we get some really awesome collab stuff here. Oh, I already have that vision card. I jumped out of my seat for a bit because I thought it was Starlight Elena, because I still don't have her in JP yet. And I really want to have her in my kit. Alright, so we're down to the final UR shard. Looks like we didn't get anything good. Will this be Kefka? Well, we didn't get anything good at all. Even though it is a 5 UR banner, just look at the results. I didn't get anything that's particularly useful. But we're gonna go for another round here, and hopefully we'll get something. Even if we don't get Kefka, it would be really nice if we could at least get the brand new FF6 vision card as well. Kefka's vision card, I like to call it. Okay, so it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like only one of these UR things is a vision card. So we have 4 chances to hit Kefka here. Oh, we actually got Starlight Elena! Holy cow! That is a result I will happily accept, but of course we're not done yet. I still need to get my hands on Kefka. So hopefully we can accomplish that in this one single 10 pull. Okay, I guess it was a bit wishful thinking on my part here. We do get an extra UR. And it's another Terra. What is up with this? Oh, wow, we actually did hit a cost 100 unit, but it's not the one we want to go for. We actually hit 2 cost 100 units in a single 10 pull. So I can't complain too much because I did hit one of my targets that I really want. Eventually I'm going to build her and do some light evade stuff for guild battle. Alright, next up is going to be the 2% chance pull. So I'm going to go down into my desperation polls already. I had hoped that maybe I would have gotten Kefka by now. But since I didn't get it, and I want to try and preserve as much visual as possible, next time I'm going to pull on this trap banner. I call it a trap banner because the chances of getting Kefka on this banner is actually the same as any other unit. Right? If you go and calculate it, the 2% chance on the final shard, if you add it up, it's actually about the same as just about any other banner. But with that said, I am super desperate for Kefka here. And to be honest, in the past, I've tried pulling on this banner, and I've gotten Dark Ramu and I believe some other Dark Asper on this banner before, so it's definitely something that's worth trying when you're desperate, but it looks like it didn't work out for me because the You Are Guaranteed here is actually a vision card, and there's no chance at all that this vision card is the FF6 vision card, so overall a really bad deal. I don't really use this vision card, so not that great at all. So you can see why I call this trap banner. Alright, so next up, we are going to go down to our free viz polls now. So we're almost at the end. Actually about, I believe right now I have about 700 medals. So next up is going to be the dedicated Kefka 3-step free viz banner. So this banner here is something that I don't think we have in global before, but it's a 3-step that gives you a bit of discount on the first step, and then when you finish one round on the third step, you get 40 shards, and you can only do this banner 2 times, a total of 2 rounds for a total of 600 summon medals. So the reason why I go for this is because obviously it's a bit of a discount, but the downside is that, you know, if you're pulling on this for the medals, then you don't actually pull on the regular banner, which actually does give you a chance, a 10% chance to pull Kefka when you reach Pity. So the thing here is that I feel that this is a better value overall, because if you are able to you know, get Kefka here, then you do also get a bunch of bonus shards in return, and you get some visual savings. But obviously, if I don't get Kefka in these free viz summons, then my only choice would be to go down to the regular summon banner and try my luck there. So at the end of the day, I still have to pull on the regular banner, unless, of course, if I somehow get Kefka early, which I definitely hope is going to be this shard right here. Oh man. Okay, so we're down to step 3 on the first round already. Definitely not an definitely not a happy Odaiba here. So whenever it's a summon that gives you a shot, you do actually end up with fewer chances or fewer slots to pull Kefka on. So I'm not expecting too much in this step 3 pull. But with things headed the way they are, it looks like Pity is probably unavoidable here. I did calculate the amount of visual I would require to pull all the way to Pity. And it is, I believe, just enough to give me enough visual to pull for the vision card, and then I'm all the way down to 0 already. So, with that said, I'm pretty sure Rafu is going to be the unit that's coming out next week. So because I'm going for Kefka, I'm going to pray that Rafu is going to be a ridiculously bad unit. That it's a unit that doesn't make sense for anyone to pull for her, that is not relevant in PvP. And it's definitely not because I'm, you know, having sour grapes right now for, you know, using up all my visual on Kefka. One thing that I didn't do before I pull is I did actually miss out on my ritual, which is, you know, what I usually do before I start pulling is I actually try and click on some stuff a bunch of times as an indicator to the game that, you know, that's the unit I want. And because I didn't do that, I think I'm gonna take a moment to go and do that right now. So if we get Kefka in the next couple of pulls, then you can assume it's because of my jinx here. I believe. So what I used to do most of the time is I go into this page here and then I click across the unit that I want to let the game know that, hey, game, come on, this is the unit I'm going for. So just give it to me already. I know this is not how the game works, but sometimes it does, you know, work out for me. Obviously not this time because it's a jabate. Once again, I got jabated by the guaranteed shard here. Even though it's a golden book, I didn't actually get any UR units or vision cards. And it looks like we're all the way done with this free vis banner, which means the only thing left is the standard banner with an additional 10% chance to pull Kefka if I do get the PD gauge to 100%. I'm gonna collect my medals just to double check that it's the correct amount and that I'm not over pulling. I believe it should be 1350. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Alright, so 7 more 10 pulls to go. Game has not been making it easy so far. I guess my luck in World Divisions has more or less run out. What happened to the good times when I was able to get Sephiroth with a single 10 pull? What happened to that? So once again, I'm gonna do the jinx thing, so that if I do get Kefka this way, we can say that this is the exact reason why I was able to get him, is because I did this jinx to let the game know that he's the unit I want, and we're gonna start with the single pull, which of course is not going to be anything good. Like I said, I'm really desperate. I wanna stop spending visual altogether now, but I don't think the game will be so obedient. Alright, so let's get things rolling with the normal banners. This is the second step. Because we already got the first 20% with the free temple ticket. Well, it's not free, I had to pay 300 paid bits for it, but you know what I mean. Okay. So it looks like this is not going that well too in this second 10 pull on the banner. 40%. So one thing that's kind of funny in the JP version of World Divisions is that when pulling on this standard banner, I actually prefer if I don't get any UR units of vision cards, because if you do get a UR units of vision card, the PD gauge does not actually increase. So it's possible for somebody to keep pulling on this summon banner and get lucky enough to be scoring a single UR unit of vision card every time, and as a result never make any progress on the pity gauge. If you think about it, that's a kind of a weird nightmare to be having. And I'm really glad that in the global version we don't have to put up with that BS. Because in global version they give you the PD gauge increase even if you do hit a UR unit of vision card. And of course, if you max the PD gauge in the global version of the game, the chance to get the featured summon unit is actually 25%. And on top of that, it's guaranteed to be a unit and never a vision card. I think some of you guys who've been watching my channel for a while will know that in the past, when pulling on this standard summon banner, there have been times when I get all the way to, you know, the maximum PD gauge, and then when I pull on the guaranteed slot, what comes out of the guaranteed slot is actually a vision card instead of a unit. and that is one of the worst things, one of the worst experiences you can have in World of Visions JP. Because imagine you're kind of, you know, spending all that visual to get the pity all the way down to 100%, right? And you are like, you know, feeling hopeful that maybe the next pull is going to give you the unit you want, right? Just imagine all that excitement, and then the guaranteed unit, or rather the guaranteed UR turns out to be a vision card. That's the worst situation to be in, and I certainly hope I'm not in that situation. Alright, so we dodged a bullet here. It's a unit that we're getting for the guaranteed slot. So we know this is UR for sure, and I really hope it's Kefka because I'm pretty much out of ammunition. I missed the 10% chance. Talk about horrible luck. The chance of getting him was 1 in 10. Oh boy. So now I'm kind of regretting doing the free viz polls, right? Because if I didn't do those 6 steps and I did it here instead, I might have been able to have another go at the guaranteed meter. So I'm gonna take that into consideration for the next time where I need to pull. For now, I'm going to go into check up on. I need to go and check out my medals because I think I'm pretty much at pity, and I believe the next 10 pull is going to be it. Okay, so we need 2 more. What do you call it? So we need 200 more medals. So I'm going to do a paid viz poll for this because I want to get the shards as well if I somehow manage to hit pity. So it's a bit of a waste, but I feel that the free viz is important to, you know, keep around for in case I need to do some stuff with them. And I definitely need to have enough for, what do you call it, the vision card. So I have 9,000 paid viz left. That means I have about 14,000-ish free visual. So I definitely don't want to use up that 2x 10 pull using free viz. Alright, so we'll do some paid viz pulls and hopefully we get lucky. We do get a bunch of bonus 10 pulls here for free. So first up, it's a vision card. Not great at all. 2 vision cards. Oh boy. It's just not my day, is it? Alright, so next time we're gonna go for the free pull. Sometimes you do get lucky with the extra free pulls and get something nice out of it, but I think it's quite unlikely. I'm going to click through all the way here just in case the last shot here turns into a UR shot. No such luck. Alright. Next up, step 3 of the paid viz, summon banner. It's another vision card, come on! Oh man, game is being particularly cruel to me right now. I got a Dark Odin out of it. Oh boy. Alright, so free viz step next. Not free viz, it's a free 10 pull step. Once again, another vision card, but this one is not guaranteed to be a UR. Alright, so after this pull, I'm going to quickly check if I missed out on any other pulls that can potentially help me to get the unit. So I've reached PD already, but I definitely want to spend the final 1000 paid viz to try my luck. But before that, I just want to see if I missed any banners. I don't think so, because I wrote down the exact steps I needed to take to hit PD should I need to do so. Standard banner. Oh right, there's one thing I forgot to check, which is the paid viz banner for the vision card. I'm not sure if there is actually a chance to get Kefka from these polls here, because if there is a chance, then I should do those banners first. Okay, so it seems like you don't actually get it. Does it say over here? Okay, so Kefka doesn't come here. And is it the same for all of them? So this is the one thing I don't really like about the JP banners, which is that they are quite confusing and you really need to check to see which banners have what. Although I guess more recently the global version banners have also been something like that, right? So it's important to see and double check what is actually included in each banner. Kefka is not included. But we're gonna do this poll anyway because we do need the vision card. And hopefully we can at least get lucky here. So this is one of those JP exclusive banners. 25 shards in one of the 10 slots. And you also have a chance to get the vision card. But the reason why we have this banner in JP is because the free viz banners for vision cards in World of Visions JP do not actually give you medals that you can exchange shards for. So that's why, for me, it's worth it to pull on this banner. But it seems like we've completely lost in the polls this time, in the poll war this time, against the game. So I'm gonna try my luck one final time. If I don't get Kefka here, then that's going to be the end, and we are going to just, go ahead and redeem him from the mock shop. Fortunately, our final 10 poll is a UR unit, so at least there is some chance, albeit low, that this here is Kefka. If indeed we do actually get Kefka here, then at the very least I can exchange all those medals for some extra shards to speed up my building process for him. So this is the moment of truth. Oh my gosh! What the heck? Oh my goodness! What a gamble! Like, oh man, I'm just overtaken by emotion right now. Like, can you imagine if I didn't go for this step? Because I already reached the medal PD with the step 3 of this paid viz banner. I'm really glad I took one more chance to try for this banner. Oh boy, what an emotional roller coaster ride. So we're gonna go and take a look at our medals now. I'm pretty sure we're sitting at 2,160 medals. That's crazy. I went from 58,000 visual all the way down to 18,000, and that is a mixture of free viz and paid viz. But we did get Starlight Elena as well, so I guess I can't really complain. It's 2 units for the price of 1. 2 cost 100 units for the price of 1. So it's not too bad. There we go, 2,160 medals. Straight away I'm gonna exchange 100 for them. 100 of them for the shards, and I think I can pretty much get Kefka to level 140 in like 1 or 2 days time. Actually by tomorrow I should be able to do so. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I guess before we close it off, we're gonna do our free polls from the game to celebrate the 23 million download milestone, as well as the 10 pull, the free 10 pull for lock. Maybe we get some incredible stuff here as well. I believe the 23 million downloads banners, the free 10 pulls, don't actually guarantee a UR. So looks like my luck is finally turning up here. Even though I had to suffer really long for it. It's nothing good, unfortunately. Alright, so the final 10 pull in this video before I close it off is going to be the free 10 pull on lock. Now before I close it off and do the final 10 pull, just want to let you guys know, definitely look forward to the 23 million downloads campaign because we get some really good banners here. This is a UR 10 units banner that lets you retry for 1000 paid viz, and you can do this twice, and there is a similar banner for your vision cards as well. So I'm probably going to pull on these banners eventually, but at this moment I don't actually need anything specific in the units and vision card department. The last thing I really needed was Starlight Elena. And although I'm missing some units and vision cards, they are stuff that I don't really need in Guild Battle at the moment. So for now, I'm not going to pull on them. Probably going to do it at some point in the future if I have the extra paid viz to spare, since they're fantastic value. But for now, this is going to end it from my video. Just going to end it with lock on this poll screen. Thank you guys for sticking all the way to the end, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.